And I think that he expected, for some reason, that he would be out on bond. And obviously, that hasn't happened. There were three different.
Oh God! Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul who once ruled the industry with an iron fist, is starting 2024 in the most shocking way imaginable, behind cold, steel bars. For someone who spent decades crafting this absolutely untouchable image of success, power, and invincibility, this new reality is hitting him harder than any platinum record ever could. And let me tell you, darlings, watching this empire crumble is absolutely mind-blowing.
So this isn't someone who's a hardened criminal who has spent a lot of time in custody. So the fact that he's spending Christmas and New Year's and future holidays in prison is probably finally getting to him.
Now let me paint you a picture of just how far our mighty mogul has fallen. The man who once lounged in multi-million-dollar mansions, flying private jets, and hosting the most lavish parties in history is now calling the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn his new home. And honey, our sources say he is absolutely crumbling under the pressure. The word on the inside is that he's desperately trying to work the system, making these frequent trips to the hospital, practically begging for any excuse to escape those suffocating prison walls, even if just for a few precious moments. But here's the juiciest part. It's all backfiring spectacularly. The authorities see right through his little game, and each failed attempt is just adding to his mounting frustration. We're talking full-on desperation mode, darlings.
Sean Combs is not giving up on his fight to be released on bail as he awaits trial on charges. His request for release has been denied twice, so he's hoping the third time will be a charm.
Let's take a moment to truly appreciate the absolutely delicious irony of this situation. For years, no decades, Diddy paraded around like he was absolutely bulletproof, living in this fantasy world where rules were merely suggestions and consequences were something that happened to other people. But now? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He's just another number in the system, forced to stand in those dreary lines for basic necessities like everyone else. Our inside sources tell us the psychological toll is written all over his face. And honey, there's no designer concealer to hide those prison-issued dark circles. The stakes in this drama couldn't possibly be higher for our fallen mogul. This isn't just about fighting for his freedom anymore. He's desperately trying to keep that carefully crafted image from shattering into a million tiny pieces. But as each excruciating day drags on, those cracks are becoming impossible to conceal. The burning question on everyone's lips, will the once mighty Diddy somehow find a way to keep it together, or is his past finally catching up with him in the most spectacular way possible? Speaking of spectacular drama, let me spill the absolutely scorching tea about what went down over the holidays. According to our impeccably placed sources, Diddy's first Christmas behind bars was nothing short of a complete and utter meltdown. We're talking full-on crisis mode, darlings. Picture this: the king of hip-hop trapped in the MDC, reportedly losing his grip on reality as his circumstances finally hit home. And get this, when he tried to get medical attention, they shut him down faster than a nightclub after a health code violation.
Hitting him that Diddy's going to be in custody at least until May 2025. I think he's just having a tough time coming to terms with it.
Now buckle up, because the legal tea is about to be served piping hot. Our fallen star, who was officially slapped with those earth-shattering racketeering and coercion charges last September, keeps getting denied bail. And trust me, his legal team tried absolutely everything in their designer playbook. First, they suggested house arrest at his Miami mansion, because apparently a $40 million paradise is totally like prison. Then they attempted to push for a luxury New York apartment. But darlings, the courts weren't buying what they were selling. They're convinced he might pull a disappearing act, pose a danger to the community, or, and this is the real kicker, try to tamper with witnesses while in custody. This latest legal setback apparently pushed our dethroned king right to the absolute edge. Sources close to the situation say he had to resort to meditation techniques just to keep from completely losing it. And let's talk about his appearance, shall we? Prison clearly isn't agreeing with him. He's looking thinner, grayer, and more haggard than we've ever seen him. The weight of his legal troubles is definitely showing, and no amount of prison commissary face cream can hide it. One particularly chatty insider dropped this absolutely shocking bombshell. When he first arrived, everyone thought it was just the typical new prisoner adjustment period. You know, the depression, the uncertainty, the what have I done moment. But honey, this goes so much deeper. There are people in there who literally want him dead. Can you even wrap your head around that? There's all this paranoia swirling around about someone on the outside having connections on the inside, possibly tampering with his food. We're talking slow poisoning scenarios straight out of a true crime documentary. That's the real reason he wasn't eating. He was literally terrified his food was contaminated with something deadly.
So this isn't someone who's a hardened criminal who has spent a lot of time in custody. So the fact that he's spending Christmas and New Year's and future holidays in prison is probably finally getting to him.
But wait until you hear what went down the day after Christmas. Our impeccable sources say Diddy literally got down on his knees begging the guards to take him to the prison hospital because he thought he was having a complete mental breakdown. When they refused, and honey, they did refuse with a capital R, he apparently lost what little composure he had left. One source who's incredibly close to Diddy spilled this piping hot tea. He genuinely believed his high-powered legal team would have him out on bail by now. I mean, this is a man who's used to getting his way with a snap of his fingers, spending the holidays behind bars. It was an absolute nightmare for him. He eventually managed to calm himself down with some meditation technique he's been practicing, but it took hours of deep breathing and focusing to pull himself out of that dark space. We're talking full-on crisis mode.
And the place where he's locked up now getting a lot of attention. The Metropolitan Detention Center, the only federal jail in New York City, is known for violence, poor conditions, and a string of celebrity detainees.
But darlings, hold on to your designer handbags because this is where the story takes an even more twisted turn. This isn't the first time our fallen mogul has tried to pull strings from behind those prison walls. The prosecutors are painting a picture of a man desperately trying to maintain control, claiming he's been working overtime to influence witness testimony. We're talking unauthorized three-way calls, using other inmates' phone accounts. He's basically running a full-service communication center from his cell. They even caught him allegedly instructing his family to reach out to potential witnesses in his case. The audacity. At a recent hearing that had everyone on the edge of their seats, Judge Arun Subramaniam had to order prosecutors to destroy copies of materials seized from Diddy's jail cell while they figure out if they can use them at trial. His defense team is crying foul play, claiming these notes were illegally seized and contained privileged attorney-client information. But the prosecutors, they're not buying this story for a second, suggesting these materials might show something far more sinister. Obstruction of justice. Poor Diddy, if we can even call him that anymore, has been stuck behind bars since his absolutely dramatic September 16th arrest in Manhattan. His lawyers recently tried to sweeten the deal with a mind-blowing $50 million bail package, complete with round-the-clock monitoring under house arrest. His attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, attempted to play the sympathy card, going on about how the harsh jail conditions, with all these lockdowns and limited access to resources, are making it impossible for him to prepare for his defense. But honey, that violin playing isn't working on anyone. The prosecutors are standing their ground like an unmovable force. They're absolutely convinced he's still dangerous and might try to obstruct justice faster than you can say bad boy for life. They're spilling scalding tea about him orchestrating social media posts to influence potential jurors. The nerve of this man. There's this whole saga about someone mysteriously referred to as Witness 2, who allegedly drafted a statement with Diddy through multiple prison calls and texts. And get this juicy tidbit, they think he paid her after the statement went public. The money trail never lies, darlings. Even his children's seemingly innocent birthday message on November 5th is being dragged into this mess. Prosecutors are claiming it's all part of some calculated PR strategy to influence the case. They say he was obsessively monitoring audience engagement and discussing how it might impact future jury members. Talk about using your own kids as props in this legal drama. But wait, there's more scandal to unpack. They're accusing him of running this relentless campaign to contact witnesses, including alleged victims of his. According to the prosecutors, who are not holding back any punches, the defendant has demonstrated an uncanny ability to get others to do his bidding. They're convinced that even private security personnel wouldn't be immune to his manipulative charm. While his lawyers are whining about jail conditions like it's a one-star Yelp review, the prosecutors are basically rolling their eyes into next week, pointing out that the roughest part of his adjustment is apparently the food. Oh, cry me a river. From fancy chef-prepared meals to prison slop, how the mighty have fallen.
And normally when a district judge or a magistrate judge hears a bail motion, it's a de novo standard, which means for the first time. That means the previous application, the denials, they don't have any.
But hold on to your seats because this tea is about to get even hotter. Our fallen mogul is now apparently causing delays in legal proceedings by flat out refusing to leave his jail cell to accept service of multiple lawsuits. Can you believe the absolute drama of it all? His little tantrum has forced judges to reschedule conferences that were supposed to start on January 10th, pushing them all the way to February. Talk about throwing a wrench in the legal system. Among these lawsuits is this absolutely jaw-dropping case filed by Philip Pines, Diddy's Diddy's former assistant. Brace yourselves for this scandalous tea. He's accusing Diddy of battery and harassment between January 2019 and September 2021. The details are so shocking they'll make your head spin. Pines claims he had to manage and clean up after these wild king nights. Parties that allegedly involved rooms stocked with alcohol, honey packs, baby oil, smoke machines, and illegal substances. He says these parties would go on for days, leaving him to clean up things that would make even a seasoned crime scene cleaner blush. But darlings, the most shocking allegation, Pines claims Diddy forced him to have relations with a woman while he watched. And apparently, hotel staff were paid off handsomely to keep their lips sealed about the aftermath of these gatherings. Of course, Diddy's legal team is denying everything faster than a celebrity denies plastic surgery, releasing this statement. No matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. Now, let me paint you a picture of Diddy's sad little Christmas behind bars. According to Levine, they all get these holiday goodie bags with cookies, potato chips, and candy. But even that's not what it used to be. It's like a big plastic pillow that's been shrinking over the years, Levine dishes. It's probably all expired stuff they're trying to pass off as a favor to the inmates. How the mighty have fallen, from caviar and champagne to expired prison snacks.
This accuser here has identified herself, and she has identified herself as LaTroya Grayson.
But darlings, brace yourselves, because this next lawsuit is absolutely explosive. LaTroya Grayson has stepped into the spotlight with a story that will make your blood run cold. What started as an exciting radio contest prize turned into what she describes as the most horrifying experience of her life. She's claiming she was and only to wake up alone in a hospital with no memory of how she got there. The details of this story are absolutely chilling.
And Grayson explains that she and her sibling entered this contest and her sibling won. That included apparently round-trip airfare for the winner and a guest. Brought her along, a hotel room, 2 white party tickets.
Let me take you through this nightmare step by step. Grayson and her sibling arrived in New York City, checked into the Roger Smith Hotel, their hearts full of excitement for what they thought would be the experience of a lifetime at one of Diddy's famous white parties. But things took a darker turn than a horror movie plot. They were driven to the venue in a van with other contest winners, only to face this absolutely bizarre selection process based on looks, like some twisted version of a nightclub line. Grayson's sibling was turned away, leaving her to enter the party alone. Talk about setting the stage for disaster. Inside, something was definitely off. Instead of a normal bar setup where you could watch your drink being made, pre-made cocktails were being handed out by waitresses like candy. After just 2 drinks, Grayson says she started feeling terribly ill and disoriented. We're not talking about your typical party buzz, honey. She tried to make it to the bathroom, but everything went black faster than a power outage. The next thing she knew, she was waking up in St. Vincent's Medical Center, her shirt torn, underwear missing, and money stolen. The absolute horror of it all. To make matters even more sinister, she later received this threatening phone call warning her not to take legal action against Diddy, basically telling her it would be pointless given his wealth and influence. Can you imagine the fear and confusion? Being victimized and then intimidated into silence. It's like something straight out of a crime drama.
The reason that she filed this lawsuit now, so many years later, is because Sean Combs is currently locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center with no bond.
Now, nearly 2 decades later, Grayson isn't just coming for Diddy. She's taking aim at everyone who might have enabled this nightmare. We're talking Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlantic Records, Delta Airlines, and the Roger Smith Hotel. She's saying they all played a part in enabling this horrific incident to happen, and honey, she's got receipts. This case is finally blowing the lid off all those whispered rumors about Diddy's parties, the predatory behavior, the drugs, the exploitation. While Grayson's case faces some challenges due to her memory loss, she's got photos, receipts, and hospital records to back up her story. And in today's climate, darlings, that might just be enough to bring down this once untouchable empire. With the trial set for May 2025, all eyes are on what Diddy's next move will be. Will this reported holiday meltdown be just the first crack in his carefully constructed facade? One thing's for certain, this drama is far from over, and we'll be here to spill every last scalding drop of tea. Stay tuned, because this story is shaping up to be the biggest scandal of the decade.